Welcome to Microsoft Partner Secrets, where we uncover and explore what top Microsoft partners do to grow faster than their competition. Here's your host, Per, Microsoft Advisory Board member and the 5-term worldwide president of the International Association of Microsoft Channel Partners.
Welcome, everyone, to the Microsoft Partner Secrets podcast. And together with me today, I have the pleasure of having my friend Stephen Karachinsky joining us, CEO and co-founder of Ziro. Welcome, Stephen.
Thanks, Per. So great to be here with you. Two friends from the north. So winter's almost over. Really appreciate you inviting me today. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure having you here and an honor. So let us start with talking about Ziro. What are you doing at Ziro in Montreal?
So we're doing a lot of cool things, Per. For those of you that don't know us, we're an ISV/MSP growing more into an ISV world, really focused on unified communications and where conversations are happening. So in the Microsoft world, that's everything related to Teams phone, meetings, and chat. And what we do is we help customers migrate over, move their workloads into the Teams tenant, manage that tenant, and help partners monetize it. The other thing that's very interesting is that voice today is not that commodity phone system anymore, but truly a gold mine or a treasure trove of data ready to be mined, used, leveraged by Copilot and AI. So our core strength comes from that communication piece, and now we're building agents, which we are going to be commercializing and releasing in April of this year, to really help assist conversations that are happening on the Microsoft communication platform all the time. So we're going to help with adoption of Copilot and AI. There's tremendous use cases in there. And it's a real important foundational lever for everything Microsoft is trying to do. So we are super excited and feel that we're in a really, what maybe used to be deemed as sort of boring, commoditized. It's never been this exciting to be in the voice communication space.
So I noticed that you are being mentioned by the analysts and by trade magazines. What is the secret behind your success?
So I don't know, Per. I don't know, Per. I don't know if we should share all of those things. I don't even know if we know 100%. But I think there's a couple of things that we're doing very intentionally that have helped us grow and build some of the trust and credibility in the market. And I think one of the first things, and it sort of maybe seems a little table stakes and not super exciting, but it's this notion of constantly networking or you're going to be irrelevant. If you've ever seen the movie Wall Street, the original one, Gordon Gekko, Michael Douglas has a line where he says either you're inside or you're outside. That's something that we believe in very, very much. And so one of the things that we've spent a tremendous amount of time doing is really making connections and building relationships within the Microsoft ecosystem. And then again, that's internally within Microsoft proper, with all of the various teams, from the STU to the CSAs to the product team to the partner team. But maybe even more importantly, outside of Microsoft. Pretty much like how did I meet you, from the ultimate partner community and attending the events and getting to meet you. Other really valuable ecosystem events that are out there in the market. I think that is one of the things that has helped us meet the right people. Know who also aren't maybe the right people to work with. We've made some mistakes as well, but that has been huge. And you don't know who's going to open a door for you 10 steps down the road or 100 steps down the road. But if you're not out there and present, you kind of don't exist in today's world. And with all of the social media out there and how noisy it is, knowing who the right people are that you can count on and trust and who actually walk the talk and make an impact in this market, in this industry, in our collective businesses, has been really huge for us. And we've made some great partners. We made some great friends. And so I think that is something that we really hold true, and it's been huge for us. There's one other thing, if you'd like me to continue, or if you want
yes,
ask me. Yeah, there's another thing that I think is important. We made the conscious decision to not try and be a vendor to Microsoft and the community, but to really be an extension of Microsoft and all of the things that they're doing. Through our study, observations, sort of trial and error a little bit as well, I think there's a lot of partners and vendors, ISVs, who try and be, multi-vendor, super objective, everything to everyone, we've decided to choose depth over breadth.
Yeah.
And really align almost culturally, as cheesy as that may sound, with what's happening with Microsoft, how they show up, how they work, what their ecosystem and partners expect as well, and really build a platform that amplifies everything that Microsoft is doing. And this is, I think, where we separate ourselves from the people that we compete against on a regular basis. I don't think anybody needs another product company or another implementation partner. I think they're looking for partners that can multiply, accelerate, and reduce risk. And that is what we do in this ecosystem. So we don't look at it like we're out there selling Microsoft stuff. What we look at it like is we extend everything that Microsoft is doing. We connect everything that Microsoft is doing so that customers can actually leverage and get the value out of all the investments they've made. I think those two things combined have shaped how we go to market, who we go to market with, what we build, the language that we speak. It's really permeated through everything that we do as an organization.
So can you say that you're surfing on Microsoft Teams telephony motion? Like when they are successful, then you add your secret sauce, your services on top, which makes it more like a complete solution.
Sometimes, because there's still 26 million and change users that have Teams Phone, which we can complement and enhance an organization's experience of leveraging Team. And then sort of phase two, now we can help start mining all of those conversations and improve them, enhance them with AI and Copilot. But for the this is the last reported number that Microsoft has shared for Teams users is 350 million monthly active users. It's probably way more than now, but that's the last reported number. So let's just use that. It's a big enough number. It doesn't make a difference.
Big enough.
As you can see, there's quite a gap between 350 million and 26 million. And so there are plenty of users that do not have phone, who have some other service that are paying more money than they need to, have another equipment application to service and manage. All the compliance, security that companies have done in governance to secure their environment and their users and set up the right policies cannot work if this another phone system is sitting outside of the tenant. So we want to cure that and help organizations save money, save time, have a better user experience, and comply with all of the policies that set forward. So it's a tremendous opportunity to still migrate those users into the tenant, and then again, leverage all of those conversations with Copilot. So there's still a lot of work to be done. And further, there's a lot of FUD in our industry. Everybody's trying to pull the curtain their way. But at the end of the day, what Microsoft has done a phenomenal job is building a platform like Teams that is the heart of 90+% of all organizations' collaboration experience. That's what we want to enhance and take it full stop.
And you are partner first. I like that expression that you write on your website, that it is through partners primarily. If there is a partner,
it is partner first, 100% per. And it wasn't always like that for us. We learned the hard way, I would say, because we've been in business since early 2010. And I know we were talking earlier, our story and our heritage is we were always communication and telecom folks, but we weren't Microsoft folks till like 4 or 5 years ago.
You were Cisco.
We were Cisco people. I worked there for many years, and we saw some opportunities to jump into business and offer differentiated service because the communications market has always been dominated by telcos. And while there's great people at those organizations, they're not synonymous with customer service. And so we jumped in to offer differentiated services, and sort of the rest is history. The reason I bring this up is we were a direct shop for many, many years. Enterprise focused, direct shop, because early on we had some bad experiences trying to partner. We didn't really know what we were doing. So we didn't have some great experiences. We were sort of looked at as like, extra support and a bench for when a partner, didn't have the resources, they were let down, and they'd call us like we were the fire department to put out a fire, and then they'd call us and we'd react, and then they'd be like, no, we don't need you anymore. So like we had too many of those situations, which turned us off. So we were direct for a while. But what we realized about 5 years ago is there's no way that we could scale, grow, and have the impact that we want really on the industry if we try and do this alone. And of listening to experts that we know a lot of the same ones. Jay McBain, for one, as an example, who I had several calls, and he's been a great ally and a mentor. He really opened our eyes onto what we're missing. And since we've started on that channel journey, it's sort of like the world's opened up to us. And so we are all in on channel. We are.
What was the things that you changed? How did you change your behavior in order to be more successful with partners?
I mean, there's a ton of ways. Our products had to evolve on not on the core of what they do, but how they do them, because we went from being able to sell to an end user and then putting this in, as opposed to selling to an organization who can now manage hundreds of different customers. So lots of product and positioning changing, which, you know, it takes a while for everybody to understand what this means. The channel sounds easy, but it's complicated. There's a lot of moving pieces within the channel. Pricing had to change, understanding how our messaging impacts things as well, making sure that we have the right people on the team who know how to build out channel. It's more than just closing deals. And we brought on a global channels leader who really showed us that you need to build the foundation and the frameworks to enable partners to be successful. It is not a do a deal and move on. The transactional piece doesn't work. Having to build and help support a business so they can be scalable is a very different mindset. And so we needed to acquire the skills, the ability, adjust the products. It's a significant transition, and we're still going through parts of it. The other thing that this allowed us to do, which I think is super interesting, and we're going through it right now, is it's allowing us to get a lot more creative on how we show up and sell, so that not only can we be successful, but the partner can be that much more successful, and Microsoft can be that much more successful. And so, to give you an example specific of what I'm talking about, a partner has, especially in the Microsoft world, let's take, you know, a CSP, for example. They're constantly in communication with their customer and selling them all sorts of things, specifically on the license side, whether they're net new license motion, a renewal, a true up, a move from an E3 to E5, like whatever it is. Well, how do we sort of play into those existing motions as opposed to stop having to start a net new sales motion every time we want to sell Teams Voice, for example, which means a completely different budget line, different set of procurement rules and processes. Sellers have to get involved and speak a different language, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so now, because we have the ability to partner with folks who have various motions, we're able to get super creative and find ways of phone becoming sort of inserted as a, do you want fries with that sort of motion?
Yeah.
Or can we supersize this engagement with you? Because at the end of the day, for the core aspects of telephony, it's sort of table stakes, it's foundational stuff. So let's not create this complicated strategic sales motion that takes, 8 to 12 months and all the things that go around with it. Let's come in at the right point, have a short sales cycle, deliver a lot of value, cut costs for a customer, and get them ready and find them more money to go forward with one of their AI Copilot motions. Yeah. That's where we're able to get creative, innovate on some of the go-to-market pieces. That's what's been really exciting.
And that must be a really good fit for partners, that you are the specialist in UC, you add value, you are very specialized in what you're doing, so you're not competing with a partner, you are complementing their services.
100%. The partnerships that we've formed and continue to form are super complementary. Voice is one of the areas that has probably been left in the background more than almost any other workload, just because inherently of that telco capability and nature, there's complicated aspects to this. And even partners that have been involved have had some bad experiences because they don't control the entire customer journey. You have to rely on a telco partner and a hardware partner and maybe a third-party application for an auto attendant or a fax machine or whatever it may be. So it's a lot of heavy lifting, and it's put them at risk sometimes. For them to have a partner that they can count on, who could take care of everything, create great experiences for the customer, provide a scalable and repeatable motion that reduces that risks, and then continue to be a partner and help support their Copilot and AI initiatives that they want to do, it's a win-win-win. So we've been very welcome. We're very fortunate, and are very excited about calendar 2026.
And isn't that one of your secrets, that you are taking out complexity. You make things that used to be complex, hard to understand, understandable, which the telcos have been really not interested in doing. You come as the people explaining how it works, and it is easy to do business with you.
You're right on. You're right on, Per. The other thing and specifics I'll share for those in your audience that even understand telephony a little bit. The PSTN. So what the telcos do a great job of is connectivity, because that's their core business, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's wireline, whether it's wide area networks and WANs, whether it's telephony connectivity, whether it's mobile devices and wireless, like that's their core business. So they're great at building out these networks and ensuring connectivity is up and running at all times. The way the telco typically sells Teams Phone is they're really focused on moving your numbers off of one system to the other system, and then they're done. All the rest, all the other aspects of the customer journey are often led up to the customer. And that's where the value is, especially today, since look, I could tell you and your audience, on average, every migration that we do, there's 30% less of the user population that actually even needs a phone number anymore because they're not using it. So when you think about the reduction of PSTN calls that are happening, everybody still needs a phone because if there's an emergency and call 911, the company would still like people to make calls externally using the company phone number so they maintain the integrity and value of that real estate asset, which is the phone number. You know, customer calls in a number. They don't want to go into the competitor if a salesperson left and went somewhere else. They want it to stay within the business. So part of what we do is we do simplify it, but we also look across the entire customer journey. So we make it easy for them to understand what they have, ensure that it aligns well with a Microsoft environment, make the migration seamless because it's fairly automated today, and then provide them the tools and the capability to manage this on their own and grab as much value as they can from it. So they really understand what's happening in their environment, who's making the calls, where are those calls going, you know, puts all the power in their hands because it should be today.
I love it. And your website, you are using words that are understandable even if you're not a technical person, which is the opposite when you're looking at telco companies. A lot of abbreviations that are hard to understand if you're not in the business.
Thank you. That means a lot to us. We're, as you know, a company's website is a constant work in progress, and we're trying to get it right. There's some updates we're working on literally as we speak right now. But feedback from you there that you can understand and get a good sense of what we do means a lot. So thanks, Per.
So another thing that I was curious about, I know that you are having a fantastic relationship with Microsoft. And how did you build that relationship? How did it materialize?
You know, it was really sort of a one step at a time kind of a thing. And we're not where we want to be because we believe there's a lot we could do still. But I think what we've done a good job grassroots is building, and you know, this goes back to what I said at the beginning on the networking and building relationship side. We really took the time to meet folks from across the organization, try and understand the challenges, pains, and opportunities where we can come in and add value, and share constantly where we're looking to help and make a difference. And again, this is grassroots with folks on the sales side, across product, and the partner. But if you're asking me, like, where was the biggest breakthrough?
Yep.
The biggest breakthrough was when we got connected with the converged communication CSAs. Now that team doesn't exist anymore because they are now all on the business AI Copilot side of things, rightfully so, totally understand. But there was about a year and a half to 2 years where we got to work really closely with this team, and there was 35 to 40 of them. And the beauty of working with them is these folks were 100% aligned with what our core business was, is turning on phone-enabled users. And the opportunities that we work together, the trust and credibility that we work together, that sort of started to springboard into other opportunities that got us invited into some more strategic funding programs, some really interesting go-to-market initiatives. Like we're in one right now that's related to Copilot and AI, coming from a communication perspective. But once we had that sort of value match, where we were so perfectly aligned, that opened the door to a ton of action. And they had sort of, I won't call it a sales kickoff, but it was sort of like that. This team coming out of COVID never really met and got together. And we had a chance to sponsor a dinner at their offsite in Atlanta. And we were connected with them before, but then when we got to spend time hands-on with them, it was so special, and really was able to make good friends that till today I speak with all the time, regularly, whether it's work or not. And in fact, one of those amazing people, he's the one that introduced us to our new director of Microsoft Alliances. So like that was really the spark that blew things up for us.
And what I hear different with your story is that it is a technology team and not an account team.
Yeah, yeah. So as the CSAs, you know, these folks were going into accounts, predominantly enterprise and the majors, that, or strategics, the names always change a little bit. And their goal was, look, these customers had the licenses, they needed to turn them on, find the value, and help them move over as quickly as possible. Because, you know, the data that Microsoft has is a customer that has E5 and phone enabled is 45% more likely to renew their E5. It is one of those technologies that, again, while people think it's commodity, it's one of the stickier ones, okay? Because when you need a phone and you pick it up and it's not working, it's like the world is over.
So the E5 motion is good for your business?
It's phenomenal for our business. We love it. And we love it in two ways. We love helping a customer get more value out of their E5 because the licenses are sitting there. And every time we do a business case, I'm not talking productivity business cases, I'm talking hard dollar business cases. Unequivocally, they could save a ton of money because they literally have the licenses. They paid for them already. And again, I know it's 76% because of security, but who cares? They have them already. When they have to spend hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars for another service to do the exact same thing, the question customers should be asking themselves is, how are we not moving to Microsoft? Not why should we move to Microsoft? Because just the math should force a customer to ask that question. But the other area that's really interesting as well is the ability to move a customer up from E3 to E5 is equally as valuable with phone because, as I just mentioned, you know, the E5 is purchased 76% of the time because of security, but that next tranche of 20+%, that's phone that moves the puck over the line, or whatever expression you would like to use. So either way,
yes,
exactly. You know, we've got the Olympics going on now, so it'll be interesting to see how things play out. E5 is one of the best ways for us to get engaged, whether you have it or you're thinking about it. There's a ton of value we can bring to the equation. And again, everybody wins. The customer wins, the partner wins, Microsoft wins, we win. This isn't like a game where like it's not a zero-sum game. Everybody wins here because everybody's getting real value.
Yeah. So I noticed that you are on Microsoft's marketplace. And what is your experience? And I guess that you are so successful with other channels, but probably you are planning on becoming more prominent on marketplace.
So we are, Per. I'll say this is a bit of a sore spot for me because I would like us to be way ahead of where we are today. We as an organization understand the value, importance of what marketplace represents today, what it could represent for our business commercially, and even just from a revenue perspective. But we haven't done enough of the right things internally to have marketplace be a leading sales motion for us. And so we've done a handful of transactions. They've actually been smooth, but this year, so we just started our fiscal year Feb 1, so we're like third week into our year. We've got some very important initiatives to make marketplace successful and working for us this coming year. So I can't share any experience, lessons learned, because I don't have enough today. But I can tell you that if I'm speaking with you next time this year and it is not representing a healthy, significant part of our transactions, something went seriously wrong. And I would be very, very disappointed. It's a top priority for us. And so I'd love to come back talk to you even in 6 months and have a whole ton of insight that I could share with you that can maybe help some of the folks that are your listeners.
And it must be nice having this opportunity for growth, like knowing where you can find growth.
It is, because I feel like there's so much untapped potential there for us. Literally, the procurement folks that we deal with in enterprise, who individuals are very nice people, but it makes things so complicated and slow. To align ourselves better transacting through Marketplace, to be able to take advantage of a Mac, I think is going to make some of our transactions really no-brainers, because if there's real cost savings, we don't have to go through any of the red tape of setting up a new vendor and the perceived risks that come along with that. They've got money in the bank with Microsoft already related to Azure. Why wouldn't they do this and take advantage of it? It's so net positive for them. It's crazy.
Beautiful. So if we are wrapping up this discussion, what is your best advice for how to become a successful partner?
I think there's a lot of things that you could do. I guess if I frame this up for Microsoft, but I would even say in the same way for our extended partner ecosystem, the CSPs we work with, the distributors, the MSPs. I think it comes down to making the partner, making Microsoft feel really safe. And what I mean by that is, what we've seen is that our partners, and we consider Microsoft a partner, they tend to lean in and work with us more when they are very, very confident that we are going to execute cleanly. We don't escalate any noise. We don't mess up customer relationships. We close deals predictably. I believe the best, secret or way to success is to reduce the partner's risk and show them a scalable, repeatable model that just works, that does not put a burden on their team, and they feel that they really have someone that they can trust and go with. And when we've got the playbooks that prove how those scalable, repeatable motions work, our products are skewed up, they're easy to price, they're easy to sell, the messaging is clear, and they have confidence that we're going to deliver. I know it sounds simple, but that's some of the stuff that actually has helped make us stand out, because we're not screaming of like, hey, we're trying to reinvent the wheel here. We're very aligned on helping Microsoft extend their motions and get more value out of that M365 stack. We could prove it. We've got the process. And when Microsoft finds a partner that they can count on, and our partners find one that they can count on and trust, I think that's where the magic happens. So it's not sexy, but that's sort of the secret sauce. And I think what's
you
critical.
Make life easier for the Microsoft people, and they appreciate that. So that's one big reason for them to continue doing a lot of business together with you, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Stephen. It was a true pleasure having you here today, and I think that all your valuable advice will be super welcome to partners. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Burr. It was great to be here, and again, thanks for the opportunity. Hope to see you soon stateside.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. Join us again next time as we explore more secrets of successful Microsoft partners. And if you're selling Azure subscriptions, be sure to check out the easiest and fastest way to increase revenue and margin on those subscriptions: the Idenxt partnership. We enable you to offer Managed Azure Services to your customers with zero operational burden for you. To learn more, go to idenxt.com. That's IDENXT.com.